It's been 6 months that I've been dealing with my meniscus pain, and I haven't done a good job of keeping it at bay. So now I'm going back to square one. I'm basically doing drops and doing slow squats and doing lighter reps and reserve. Wait, no reps rated perceived less RPE with my movements. So it's gotten to this point because I've had to learn that you can't go from 0 to 100. You gotta really build up gradually to things, and some people may not have to. Some people are more genetically gifted than I am, at least when it comes to injuries. But I can say one thing: the way this happened was those first 6 months of training. I trained so incredibly hard. I trained so hard. I made progress, but I felt like I wasn't jumping enough. So I asked to go to jumping twice a week. Then that wasn't the best thing I could have done because my body wasn't used to that. And immediately, it wasn't even like, it was just the first day. It was like the Saturday jump session, and then the following Monday jump session to start going twice a week. That is when I immediately started having pain in my meniscus. And then it's just been trying to manage that over and over again. Getting sad that I couldn't jump on some days because it hurt, and not because it hurt bad enough to the point where I couldn't jump. It hurt bad enough to the point where it was enough of a signal for me to not keep going, because I know if I keep going, things will just get worse. So I guess that's one thing I've done well, is kept it enough at bay to where it hasn't gotten bad to the point where it's been like a 7 or 8 out of 10. At most, it's been probably like a 5, no more than a 6. And that's only right as I get a flare-up. So it's never been too bad before, but I can't jump max effort. And now it's built up to the point, it's gone up and down, just from trying to get back into it too quickly. Now it's at the point where I can't really have sessions. I can't have sessions. I can't train as hard as I've wanted to because I haven't been able to squat. That's one thing. I haven't been able to squat like with intent for so long. I haven't been able to squat, like push myself as hard as I possibly could on squats in so long. So I really miss that. I miss being able to push my body to its limits without any kind of restraint. But that's kind of the point. That's the lesson, is to know when to, not exactly, I wouldn't say hold yourself back, but know when to have some self-control in a way. And that can even be difficult. It's like having a leash on like a pit bull, like a wild pit bull. It's not about, trying to hold the pit bull back. It's about trying to teach the pit bull, be able to listen to commands. You gotta train it to, be respectful, and like when someone comes in the house, they just don't start like running up to them, sniffing them, barking at them, or licking them or something. Not be as impulsive. When they listen, then that's when you can allow them, that's when you can reward them to, be a little free, be more free. But that's why as humans, you can't do what you want all the time, or else bad things will happen to you. And I feel lucky to not be in much of a position to be that way, because some people have more freedom to do what they want due to better circumstances growing up and not having to deal with consequences, despite their actions, which normally and generally the average person would have to deal with those consequences. But then it's worse for them later down the line when things aren't so good and then they have to deal with those consequences even worse than what the average person would normally have to deal with when they have to control themselves on more of a regular basis. So that's kind of the lesson I've gotten from this. And it has been tough because I want to do what I love doing, and it's been a while too. So it'll take time. It also teaches you patience. So I'm learning a lot about that too. And it also teaches me how to be grateful because, you know, people have had it much worse and people have come back from much worse, and people haven't come back from much worse. So it's good to be, you know, still grateful for what you can do. You know, be grateful that I can even walk at the end of the day, that I still have both my legs, that I still have both my arms. And that's another thing. I have shoulder pain too, but that one's gonna be more of a faster comeback due to it's lack of shoulder blade control, serratus anterior muscle, very weak instability, and I imagine I have to stretch out my rhomboids too. So this one's should be fine. I also have PFP on the same leg, but that one also should be fine because I don't feel that one as often or as much as my meniscus, and my meniscus would be more detrimental for me, I feel like. Even though obviously if I let my PFP get too bad, then that would also be detrimental, but that is something is much more manageable than my meniscus. So, but yeah, back to my point is that, you know, these things teach you things, you know, when you get mad or when you get sad and just, you know, kind of get in your own head about it and be like, I don't know if I'll be this, I don't know if I'll be that. Like, damn, like, I'm angry that I can't do this. You know, you're missing the point. You know, it's this book, Ryan Holiday. I haven't read it yet, but I have it. I'll read it one day because I have a lot of things to read up on. But it's, you know, it's in the title. The obstacle is the way. You know, the obstacle that you have to go through teaches you lessons for what's coming next. And you don't always know what's coming next. Things will happen to you, bad things will happen to you, and you won't understand why things are happening to you. But if you keep moving forward and you don't let it get to you, and you keep that faith, you keep patience, you keep that grateful attitude, you keep moving forward with that, and it'll all make sense in the future. So it may make sense for me in the future to go through this and then have more injuries down the line and be ready for that. But I'm hoping to get healthy in next 6 months to a year. I want to continue doing what I love to do and thrive in it and be one of the best, if not the best I can be, because I am aware of my potential. So this goes out to you as well. If you know what you're capable of, then go after it, and whatever obstacles you have, embrace them and learn from them, because you're given that obstacle for a reason. Peace.